And it's on, sir, I believe. Good evening, Dr. Buka. And good evening.
If his frame is on, tell him he will still show those pictures he showed last week, because I'm expanding some teachings on each one of them quickly before we go to other things.
Okay, so I'm just going to start, sir, and then I'll communicate that, sir.
All right.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Medical Mondays with Dr. O. I'm a family practitioner. I treat HIV and substance use disorder in Maryland, and I'm always excited to be on this program at this time every Monday to learn and sometimes to impact. So tonight we're continuing with our series in learning how to eat properly by learning how to grow our own products. And learning how to do it properly without chemicals, without, junk that we should not have in our bodies, if I may use that word. And we have the honor of having our own brother, Papa for me, Dr. Michael Oye, um, a world-renowned naturopathic doctor who we are blessed with to do this series for us. So without much ado, sir, I'm going to yield the floor to you, but I'm going to ask that Dr. Ephraim kindly put the slides up so that we can start the discussion. Thank you.
You need to start.
Yes.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening, sir.
God bless you. We want to continue with our series, and we are going to consider the formula we used last week, the Camp Agamal strategy for backyard food production. The concentration is on very, very poor farmers in tropical lands who are not able to put enough food on the table because of the high cost of fertilizers, high cost of pesticides, high cost of weed killers, herbicides. Now, those things are imported and they are not able to afford them. On the other hand, we want them even to produce their food organically so that their health may improve. Now, the formula is selected in such a way that each input is multi-purpose. Each input in the formula does a number of things to enhance the lives of people in tropical rural areas. But the same formula can be adapted even for cities and for people like you who are listening to me now, where there is not much land, where you can even do planting in pots, in bags, and so on and so forth. So as we go along, we will allow questions at the end to be able to adapt to each situation. If we will start with the first input, Crotalaria, can we see the picture again?
Sir, if we can continue, and as soon as we're able to put this slide, we will do that, sir.
Right.
Yes, sir.
We discussed Crotalaria retusa as a very small plant, a leguminous plant. In fact, let me put it this way so that it may be faster. Each one of the inputs is able to either supply nitrogen or phosphorus or potassium. Now, those are the three most important sources of nutrients for most plants. There are many trace elements that plants also need, but we are not going to concentrate on those. NPK, to be short, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium. And the inputs in the formula supply all these. If you were there last week and you have all the things with you, I'm going to quickly categorize those that are purely for nitrogen, those that are purely for phosphorus, and those that are for potassium. The first one, Crotalaria, is a nitrogen fixing plant. The second one, Acacia, is also a nitrogen fixing small tree or shrub. And that one is found mainly in the Sahel, in very dry places, grasslands, deserts, and it's evergreen. So this is very important for very dry places. Incidentally, desert soils are extremely rich in minerals. The only thing lacking is water. So water is the critical thing in desert areas. Once they have water, the land is extremely fertile. The next one in the formula, camp, we have done Crotalaria, Acacia, is Moringa. Now, Moringa supplies all the three: nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, because it is its leaves that fall rapidly to get rotting into the soil and to supply all the minerals needed by the soil. So that is Moringa, camp. The P is for Pueraria. Pueraria is also a nitrogen fixing leguminous plant. And it supplies mainly nitrogen. But when the leaves also fall, they rot and supply all the minerals needed by the soil. That is camp. Agamal, the A stands for ash, wood ash. Everything burnt on the farm produces ash. Everything cooked in a local kitchen produces ash. That ash is not to be thrown away carelessly. It's to be stored because it's a rich source of potassium as fertilizer. Now, that is the main source of potassium in the farm. Again, that potassium in the ash is not only as fertilizer, it serves as a pesticide. We will deal with that later when we are dealing with many things that can be used in rural areas as pesticides without any harm to the crop. Agamal, the G, the first G, stands for granite, granite dust. Granite dust is the main source of phosphorus. Now, the soil generally doesn't need too much phosphorus, but when you scatter the dust of granite over a piece of land and it rains The phosphates inside dissolve gradually, and the roots of the crops are able to make use of those phosphates. Again, other things can supply that phosphorus as we go on. The second G is for Gliricidia. Gliricidia is a small plant belonging to the plant family of the sunflower family, Asteraceae. We mentioned it last week. Now, Asteraceae are very rich in the properties and chemicals that are antibiotic, antiviral, and antifungal. So, Ageratum is there as a pesticide. It can kick off insects, spiders, fungal growth, and other things. So that is the main work of Ageratum there. Agamal. The first M stands for manure. We are going to learn how to make manure, but manure is made from animal droppings. And we said last week that in the formula, we must take into consideration the formation of mixed farming. It's not just to plant crops alone, but to have small animals that are good for the table. Chicken, goats, rabbits, and so on. Pigeons, guinea fowls, turkeys. Their droppings are rich in all the fertilizer contents, nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, and other minerals. So manure is a very good input on the farm. We can make it into compost, adding plant parts so that everything will ferment together and form good humus. The second M stands for mucuna. Now, mucuna is another leguminous plant that is able to fix nitrogen. So you see, there are many of these things fixing nitrogen because nitrogen is the major thing that plants need to grow well and also to produce fruits. Productivity depends very much on nitrogen as well as the growth of the plant itself. The next one is A, standing for Azadirachta. Azadirachta is the neem tree. Again, that one is a pesticide. The leaves, the fruits, and the bark, B-A-R-K, are all rich in a complex substance called azadirachtin. Now, azadirachtin is able to control so many pests, and therefore, I suggested that every local farmer should have at least one tree at his backyard, which he can be using. Again, it is an evergreen tree. It doesn't die. It's always there to be used. That is one of the best pesticides which tropical lands can have and use. After the neem, you have L, which is the last thing, Leucaena. Leucaena is a small plant, a small tree, just like acacia. It is able to fix nitrogen. We omitted one along the way. 1A. No, 1G, sorry. Gliricidia. Gliricidia is a nitrogen fixer, and I recommend that it should really be the one that will be used most because it grows very fast and the leaves are very, very useful for animals on the farm. Having said this, I want us now to go into the importance of each one of them not only as fertilizer, not only as a pesticide, not only as herbicide, but to see how multi-purpose each one of them is. So let's start from acacia. The usefulness of acacia on the farm. For those in the Sahel or any desert area or grassland where acacia grows very easily, apart from fixing nitrogen, acacia leaves and the bark are delicious food for goats and sheep. In fact, it is a staple food for goats in the Sahel. And I recommend that anybody having a small land should plant 1 or 2 trees of acacia. It's not a big tree, it's a small tree. So it can help in feeding the animals. The leaves are medicinal. The leaves are antibiotic. The leaves are antiviral. So it's not only fertilizing the land, it is also feeding animals and also being useful as medicine for the farmer himself and his family. The C, which is Crotalaria, is also a nitrogen fixing plant. But that Crotalaria is also medicinal. The leaves are wonderful for stomach troubles. Let me get it correct. Yeah, stomach troubles. What happened? Sorry. Something is blocking my.
Crotalaria is on the top, sir.
Eh?
Crotalaria plant. Okay, here it is.
Crotalaria.
Yes, sir. It's
Something
right
is
there.
blocking my. I'm coming.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, Crotalaria. I guess some people have identified it by now. The leaves, as I said, are antibiotic. But they are not edible. The plant itself serves as a green manure. It can be incorporated into the soil to rot and supply NPK to the soil after it has done its duty. It produces dark brown seeds, tiny dark brown seeds, that can be turned into coffee, ground into coffee. And when that coffee is drunk, the coffee is able to energize the body. It serves almost like a real coffee. So people are able to grind it and use it as coffee. The flowers are decorative, and the whole plant can also be used as a companion crop. A companion crop is a crop which is not a main crop, but it helps a main crop to do better. For example, if you plant this particular plant and the yellow flowers come up, bees and other insects, butterflies, visit the plant and are able to pollinate the real crop that you have grown, like tomatoes or other things like that. So it's a good companion crop. That is with Crotalaria. Can we go to the next? I have already spoken about acacia. Okay, let's speak about moringa. Now, moringa is included in this formula for many reasons. Let me say that moringa is a blessing to the tropical world, particularly Africa and West Africa for that matter, which is the real home where it grows all across the desert and grows also in the grasslands all across West Africa. The leaves are the richest leaves you can find so far as nutrition is concerned. Actually, it's called a miracle tree. Those leaves contain most of the minerals and amino acids needed by the body. So it is good for a farmer to have at least one plant on the farm at the backyard. Again, it's evergreen. It doesn't die. It will continue to produce leaves as long as you are pruning it. And those leaves are rich for the family. Another thing is that farm animals will feed on the branches and the leaves. So those are the purposes, apart from the leaves falling to the ground and getting rotten to enrich the soil. It is not a nitrogen fixing tree. It is not a leguminous tree. But because of these uses, which I've mentioned, it is important to have it on the farm for the health of the family and for the fertility of the soil because of the leaves. There are other uses for moringa. It is hepatoprotective. Now, that is a big word. That means it can enhance the health of the liver. And you know, the liver is a very important organ in the body. It's like an industrial estate where most of the activities for the body's well-being take place. It's a manufacturing center. So, eating it regularly will keep the whole body healthy. It can be used for soup. It can be used as part of salad. You can chew it raw. And it's very pleasant, actually. The seeds from moringa are also medicinal. It's one of the best gut cleansers. It's a purgative. And when one is using it, one should not use more than, say, 3 of the seeds at a time. Because if you overuse it, it will purge. But it's a very good cleanser of the gut. And remember, chronic constipation is the cause of so many chronic diseases. So getting the gut cleansed is very important. And moringa is there to answer that particular need. So it can prevent and also treat cancer. You can use this as part of a formula for the treatment of cancer because it boosts the immune system. It is able to fight bacteria and all forms of infection. When it is eaten regularly, it prevents rheumatoid arthritis and many other autoimmune diseases. It is also a nervine. It affects the nervous system, helping to repair some disorders in the nervous system and the brain. It prevents cardiovascular diseases and disorders. It helps in the treatment of diabetes. It improves eyesight. It is good for anemia, particularly sickle cell disease. So you see, this plant is so important. It's versatile, it's a tonic. And when the farmer has just one plant on the farm, it solves many problems. Fortunately, it can be grown easily, either directly from the seed or from cuttings of the branches. That is moringa. Next. Next, please. Pueraria is a leguminous plant. It fixes nitrogen in the soil. It grows like beans. It is a creeper. So it doesn't only fix nitrogen, because it is a creeper, it forms a carpet over the soil to preserve water. The root system permeates the soil very well for the soil to be aerated, which is good for your crop. The leaves drop stage by stage and get rotten to add nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium to the soil. Now, because it covers the soil very well as a creeper, it is also a herbicide. All other herbs under it will automatically die because they don't receive enough sunlight. So that's the multi-purpose duty of Pueraria. Fortunately, the leaves of some Pueraria are edible. The tender leaves are edible and will supply the body with a lot of nutrients. Because the leaves are edible, they also supply much cellulose to ensure that constipation does not occur. That is Pueraria. There is another plant called Centrosema, which is also very common in the tropics. So where we don't have Fuararia, we can have Centrosema. You can Google to find how Centrosema looks like. Just say image Centrosema. Centrosema pubescens. Centrosema, Centro Sima, Centrosema. Pubescens, Pubescens. Pubescens. All right. Let's go to Agamal. The A is for ash. We have already said that ash supplies potassium mainly, but it also supplies many trace elements that are needed by plants because it is the whole plant part that is burnt into ash. Potassium is so necessary for rapid plant growth, particularly the vegetative growth, leaves and stem. You will notice that if you burn something on a piece of land and you plant something there, it grows faster than any surrounding land where you have not put the ash. But that is not all. Ash is a pesticide. Ash will destroy many pests. Therefore, it is mainly used even to keep grains preserved for many months. If there are insects in any harvested grain and you add ash to it, those insects will die. So it's a good pesticide. Ash is also medicinal. People suffering from peptic ulcer can gain a lot by putting ash in water, allowing it to stay overnight, and then filtering off the water. That water is not ordinary water anymore. It is an alkaline solution containing mainly potash. And when that solution is sipped on an empty stomach gradually, early in the morning, the healing of peptic ulcer has begun. If a person does it for about a week, the person is going to be relieved tremendously. So it is also medicinal. Ash, fertilizer, ash, pesticide, ash, medicine for the body. Can we go on? Granite. Well, granite is mainly as fertilizer. There is not any other thing you can do about that. But there is an interesting thing. If you don't get granite, because not all places have granite, you can have bone meal. Bone meal. All the bones from any meat we eat in the home can be gathered together, burnt, and then pulverized into powder. And that can serve as fertilizer, particularly those who are using potted crops and so on. That powder can be added to the soil in the pot. That's a very rich source of not only phosphorus, but also calcium. Eggshells. Eggshells can be used instead of granite. I'm saying this because granite is not easy to find in some places. Eggshells. Eggshells will supply calcium, which will also make the soil alkaline. Fish emulsion. Any parts of fish left after eating and so on can be turned into an emulsion that will also serve to supply phosphorus. Meat meal. Meat meal can also be a substitute for granite in supplying phosphorus. Worm castings. Worms are able to, engulf soil and then defecate it out. That defecation is the casting. Worm castings are also rich in phosphorus. All right. Can we go to the next thing? Where is this thing? Okay, Gliricidia. As I said, Gliricidia is a leguminous small tree fixing nitrogen easily. It can be grown from seed. It can be grown from cuttings. It's easier to grow it from cuttings. There is a system we are going to learn later that is called the alley cropping, A-L-L-E-Y, alley cropping. And I recommend that Gliricidia should be the choice plant to be used for alley cropping. But all parts of Gliricidia are very useful. The leaves and branches are a delicious food for small farm animals, particularly goats, rabbits, sheep, cattle, where they are. Those leaves can keep goats and sheep alive and doing well throughout the year. The small plant is evergreen. The more you cut the branches, the more they grow. So that is Gliricidia. Now, both the leaves and the seeds can be used as rat poison, rodenticide. You just grind the leaves or grind the seeds, mix it with some food, put it at a strategic place, and when the rats eat the thing, they will seek for water to drink, and that is the end of their lives. So it is also serving them as a pesticide because many rodents can attack some crops at the backyard. Can we go on? Ageratum. Ageratum is included mainly as a pesticide. What do you do with it? You get the leaves and you squeeze the leaves in a large quantity of water. Allow the thing to stay overnight so that the chemicals in the leaves can get into the water completely. If you sieve that and you use it on growing crops, insects and other pests are not able to attack the crops. Fortunately, Ageratum is not poisonous to man. So when you harvest your crop, it is safe. Of course, you will wash your whatever you are going to cook before eating it. But Ageratum is medicinal. It belongs to the family of Asteraceae, And all members of the Asteraceae family are antibiotic, antifungal, and antiviral, all of them, including this ageratum. Let me mention a few other members of this particular family, which are easily available to rural people in tropical world. So if you don't get ageratum, you can get those ones. Aspelia, Aspelia africana, A-S-P-I-L-I-A, Africana, A-F-R-I-C-A-N-A. Now, we call it African marigold, African marigold with beautiful yellow flowers. They grow easily in the open by the roadside in many tropical lands. Again, all plants of this Asteraceae family are hemostatic. They can stop internal bleeding and external bleeding within a few minutes. So for the local farmer, local family, this is an asset. It's not only a pesticide, it is also medicine for the home, and it's easily available. Now, most of the plants we have chosen in this formula are anthropogenic. That means they grow where human beings live. They don't grow far into the bush. And that is a great advantage. They are easily accessible. Let me mention a few other members of this Asteraceae family. You will be surprised to know that bitter leaf belongs to this family. Bitter leaf. Now, bitter leaf is not only antibiotic, antiviral, antifungal. Bitter leaf is anti-cancer. Hypoglycemic, that means to deal with diabetes. Hypotensive, it will regulate blood pressure. Digestive, laxative, it affects the liver positively, it affects the kidneys positively. In fact, as for bitter leaf, it is a tonic. So having 1, 2, 3 plants or stands of bitter leaf at the backyard is a big asset. It grows very easily from the cut stem. Another good member of the Asteraceae family, which I want us to note for a small-scale farmer, is the local dandelion. The dandelion we have here in America has got another cousin that is more common in Africa and Asia. And I would like somebody to actually get a picture of it so that we see it, because that is the more common one in Africa and Asia. And we are concentrating on those places. It is called Lactuca. 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 The second name is longish, Taraxa cifolia. Taraxa, Taraxa, Taraxa cifolia, Cifolia. Lactuca Taraxa cifolia. Thank you. That's it. Now, in the Yoruba language, they call it nyari. It's a wild vegetable, but it's a powerful plant. So apart from serving like Ageratum as a pesticide, it is edible. It is very, very good for the kidneys and the liver. Eating it regularly will dissolve kidney stones, gallbladder stones. It controls diabetes. It deals with blood pressure. It deals with constipation. It deals with so many things in many organs. There's no time to narrate all, but you can do more research on it. So where you don't have Ageratum, you can use any of these Asteraceae substitutes I have been mentioning. There are hundreds of them. So the formula is versatile from place to place. Can we go on to the next? Manure. As I mentioned before, manure is from animal droppings, and the formula encourages mixed farming, where you raise both crops and animals together. And that forms a cyclical thing. You are making the animals to depend on things from the farm, and the farm depends on things from the animals. The crops depend on things from the animals. The droppings of the animals mixed with grass and any carbon base will produce good compost, which is good for the soil. That will contain nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, and all other minerals needed by the crops. We will learn how to make it later. Can we continue? Mucuna is also a creeping leguminous plant, just like Pueraria, like Centrosema. It is included because we want to let people have alternatives. It's not only supplying nitrogen, it is also preserving water in the soil because it covers the soil as a creeper, and all the other advantages like controlling weeds, aerating the soil, building up humus with the falling leaves. All those advantages are there. We are enriching the soil, making it come alive. And you see, that type of soil covered can be used year after year because it is regenerating itself. Next, Azadirachta, or Azad for short. That's the neem. I said the neem tree, having one small neem tree on the farm is advantageous because of is broad spectrum use as a pesticide. The leaves, the fruits, and the bark can be used. How do you do it? You collect the leaves and you treat them as you treated ageratum. Squeeze the leaves in a bucket of water, allow to stay overnight, and then spray it over your crop. Many insects and other things will be knocked out. That is the neem. The neem is also medicinal for many, many diseases. Malaria, all forms of fever, diabetes, blood pressure, many, many skin diseases, and so on. So you see, many of these things are not just for the soil or for the crops, they are also directly for the farmer himself and his family. Let's get to the last one, Leucaena. Leucaena is a small leguminous plant, just like acacia, and also just like Gliricidia. It's an alternative. It's an evergreen plant, and the leaves are very delicious to goats, to rabbits, to sheep. It's a very familiar plant. The pod can also be eaten, even when it is green, by human beings. The same pods can be eaten by the animals. You can grow it easily from the seeds, but there are also offshoots at the base of the tree that can be plucked and planted directly. Okay, now I want to go to a description of agroforestry. Agroforestry. In this formula, in the Camp Agaman formula, the principles of agroforestry should be applied. What is agroforestry? Agroforestry is a method of planting crops together so that you have multiple crop production instead of monocropping. In agroforestry, you plant more than one crop in the same place. You can plant 3 crops together, 5 crops together in a systematic way. And that type of cropping has a lot of advantages. And the Camp Agamal formula encourages that. For example, you can plant corn, pigeon pea, pepper, tomatoes, okra, garden eggs. Name them. When you go to villages where they have been practicing our ancient farming before, it is agroforestry they use. They plant all that they need on the same plot of land, and they harvest those things regularly for the home. Some of the plants they plant are surface feeders, whilst others are deep feeders. That means you are making use of every portion of the soil to advantage. One interesting thing is that the design makes sure that you plant crops together. Some of them are exploitative, while others are productive. What I mean by exploitative? That means plants that demand so much fertilizer, particularly nitrogen. They include crops like corn, guinea corn, millet, yam, and so on. They need nitrogen, they need potassium, they need phosphorus for their growth. On the other hand, there are productive crops that don't need so much nitrogen, but rather fixed nitrogen, which becomes available to the exploitative crops. So, when you plant something like corn, then you match it with something like pigeon pea, which is a nitrogen fixer. Or you match it like groundnuts, peanuts, which is nitrogen fixer. For example, you can plant yam on a heap, and on the same heap, around the bases, you plant 4, 5, 6 tons of groundnuts. The groundnuts will grow together with the yam, supply the soil with enough nitrogen for the yam to grow bigger, and then produce its own groundnuts earlier than the yam. So you harvest the groundnuts after, say, 3 months, but it has already supplied enough nitrogen for the yam to grow very big. You can even incorporate the green parts of your harvested groundnuts back into the soil as green manure to rot and bless the yam that is still, growing. You can plant along with yam and cassava and corn. You can plant legumes, beans, different types of beans. Those beans will supply nitrogen, but at the same time, they will be cover crops, preserving the soil, preserving water, fertilizing the soil. So agroforestry is a very important type of mixed cropping. When you do that, you prevent the multiplication of pests. If you do monocropping, planting only one crop, you increase the availability of pests. The pests will multiply very fast because they have got the food they want. But if you plant many things together, since they are growing in a mosaic way, even if there are a few insects, they will only eat a little bit of the leaves of each of the varieties there. Insects and pests specialize in what they eat. So if you grow only one crop, those insects that like that crop will come and multiply very fast. But if you plant many different crops together, some of them growing tall, others growing short because they love shade, you are preventing pests from attacking your crops. That's one advantage of agroforestry. Some of our local people do this a lot. They grow crops that are harvested 2 months, 3 months, and others that will be harvested 6 months, 8 months later. And by this, you are able to plant a number of crops even in the year. I am going to stop here meanwhile, because I know people will have many questions to ask.
Thank you so much, sir. Man, whew, all those names. I wrote a lot down, sir. So if you have questions, please raise your hands or put it in the chat box. So, sir, you talked about a lot of plants, all of these plants. Personally, I don't know what they are. Those are, the
You are a
scientific
city
name.
girl.
Well, some of them, like when you mentioned peppers, tomatoes, and stuff like that, I understood. But the scientific names are a little bit tough. When you mentioned bitter leaf, I don't even know the scientific name of
Well,
it.
but you have to know it, because if you are going to do research on it, you have to get the scientific name.
Ah,
Okay, bitter leaf like this. I have to give you the scientific name so that you can find more things on it.
okay, sir. Bitter
Yeah.
leaf. Yeah. Okay. So, well, thank God we have the recording. So I'm sure we can go back to it and look at it and see.
Let me
Um,
give you the name of bitter leaf because you need it.
okay,
Vernonia.
sir.
Vernonia.
Vernonia. Yeah, I did see that.
Vernonia amygdalina. Didn't we mention it last time?
Yes.
Amygdalina.
Yeah, but when you said bitter leaf, I understood it. So I guess I was lazy about memorizing the scientific name. Thank you, sir. So, over the weekend, we were at Dr. Booker's and we had some questions for you. Dr. Booker, kindly unmute. So we went to get peppers. She planted lots of peppers. Her garden was really, really beautiful.
Wonderful.
And we got some Guyanese time from Guyana from her that,
Mm.
the tea, um, I made the tea and it was so relaxing. It
Mm.
put me to sleep. So, well, I'm asking her to unmute and she's not muting yet. So if there are any questions, okay, Dr. Ajagbe has a question. Kindly unmute, Dr. Ajagbe.
Well, mine is not so much of a question, but just to add one or two things to what has been shared. Uh, for bitter leaf is not just good for everything that Brother Mike already said. It's also good for malaria.
Sure.
So any plant that has bitter taste
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
is antiplasmodia.
Yeah.
So which means it's going to prevent you know most malaria parasites from multiplying
Yeah.
in the
Correct.
bloodstream. That's one.
Including the neem too. Mhm.
Yes, that's one. The other thing about bitter leaf is also good for sleep. It
Sure.
helps with sleep. For those who may be having bouts of insomnia, if you are able to get, you know, some bitter leaf and have it as tea before bed,
Sure,
or you can have it as part of your meal, your dinner. By the time you're ready for bed, you will sleep very well.
sure. That's very
Um,
true.
so many of the plants that have been mentioned, many of them, when we would try to do large scale farming, some of these things are very, very, interesting in terms of integration.
Yeah,
So, dividing the plot of land, if you have a big yard in the back of your house, then that's something you have to map out, not just random cropping, even though it's agro
forestry.
forestry that is being done, but at least you have to map out the ground so
Yeah,
that you can rotate the crops.
correct.
Crop rotation is very, very important
Hmm.
because the place where you planted, um, beans and groundnuts earlier, I mean, the year before, can be switched around and then you plant corn or yam in those places where they can then
Those are
thrive
going to do
much
very
better.
well. Yeah,
So then corn can now be planted. I mean, the legumes can now be planted where the corn used to be planted in the previous years. And I think you mentioned something in the past about following the ground.
correct.
Following the ground is very, very important.
Yeah, very.
That will be, as after 7 years of planting, the land should be left for at least 1 year of
Eh,
fallow.
Yeah, that's very good. It's biblical. In fact, if you divide the land into 7 portions, it's good to leave one portion fallow and then use 6, and then you rotate it as you have said. That's a very important thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So I
Thank you
just
so
wanted
much.
to add those ones to it, that
Yeah,
it's
that's
not
very
just
important.
only in the large scale farming that you can
Even in the
rotate.
small scale.
In the very small scale farming, crop rotation is very, very important.
Sure.
Now, the other thing that needs to be addressed is irrigation, watering of the plant.
Yeah. There's a day we are going to consider using swampland and using very dry land. That's where irrigation will come in. Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
but
for normal farming behind in the backyard,
yeah,
for some people it's easy to actually run the pipes for
yeah,
irrigation alongside, if it's a small lot, they can
yes.
do that so that they have timing. There are timers that are now available tied to the plumbing of the irrigation that actually opens up
Mm,
and waters this ground or the plant for a
mm.
period of time and then shuts off. And
Yeah,
the timers are put in place so that you want to water the plant about the same time
yeah.
every day.
But you are really speaking in the context of uh, advanced technology. You are speaking for Americans. I
Yeah,
am.
we have to integrate both
Yes, I know.
because
It's good that you have brought it up. Yeah, it's good.
because if I have a big yard in my backyard and I want to do something, I want to be proactive,
Yeah,
like
and then
we are talking about,
you want to save
then
time. You want to.
yes, it will
Yeah.
that will be
Mhm.
very efficient use of time.
Yes,
That's why
correct.
I'm
Mhm.
mentioning that.
It's okay.
Yes. Thank you.
In the rural villages, when I'm going to speak about managing the farm, they should use cans to spray, to water cans, to give to spray their crops and so on.
But what I've seen part of the things that we're doing on my farm also is furrowing. When you furrow between
The water,
ridges,
yeah, the
you
water can
allow
run
the
through. Yeah,
rainwater to collect.
correct.
Yes, yeah.
You allow the water to collect in the furrow so that it can soak slowly into the ground over a period of time.
Yeah,
So I think that is
following a particular contour anyway.
yes,
Yeah.
because you have a central reservoir with tributaries going in different directions. So
Okay.
that way it allows for pooling of the rainwater
Yeah,
and be used over time.
correct. Mhm. Okay, thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank
Hello,
you.
yes.
Dr. Buka, where did you
yeah.
disappear to?
I wasn't unmuting. I was using the
You're trying
other.
to unmute. You could.
Yeah, I did. That thing with the water, I think DC used to do it. They used to give you the well that you could use, but I'm not sure if they're still doing it. Where you collect it and it's distributed. It used to be done a few years ago. I was looking into it last year. But
Okay.
in terms of what Dr. Ajagbe said, my friend had connected her garden and she used it. She turned it on too much or too long and she ruined her crops. So it's good to find out.
That's why the timer is very important.
Yeah, she timed it, but it probably was too often or too long. So
Okay.
it's good to find out how long to time it.
Yeah.
And it was just one plant.
If it is too long, it can even cause erosion.
Well, actually, what Brother Mike said before, that there are plants that survive in arid soil.
Yeah.
And there are some that cannot tolerate a lot of water.
Exactly.
Even though every plant wants some water, but some cannot tolerate too much water.
No. For example, even moringa. Moringa will not tolerate too much water.
And bitter leaf.
Correct.
My bitter leaf died
because of too much water.
Yeah. Yes, because too much water was put when I was away, and it croaked.
Yeah.
I came back, I pitied the plant. Like, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. So, Dr. Buka, the floor is yours. Sorry about that. Sorry.
What are we talking about? Oh, do you have a picture of it? It's we call it broadleaf thyme.
What's the scientific name? Do you know?
I don't know.
Can you bring the image? Can you bring the image up? If I see the image, I will know the scientific name.
I have to go and get it because I never. I thought Dr. O would have had a picture of it.
Okay. Do you have it at the backyard?
In the house. I'm going down to get it now.
Yeah, please get it.
Right there in our house. And I have it now. I have it on my phone now. How do I get it in here? Okay, there we go. That's the real thing, sir.
Where is it?
Right there, she's showing it on the screen. I'll pin it so you can see it, sir. Right there.
Yeah. I haven't seen it.
Right on the screen, sir.
No.
It is pinned.
It looks like a wear Bamoda.
The pinning will be to yours alone, not to everybody. So can we show it?
I see. Okay, Dr. Buka, can you start speaking so that you...
Yeah.
Is the leaf, is it thick?
Yes, it's thick.
Dr. Buka, start speaking.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
okay,
start speaking.
okay.
I'm speaking.
Papa, hold on, sir.
I've seen it. I've seen it.
Yes, he's seeing it. It's thick, yeah.
Okay. May I say something?
All right.
May I say something?
Go on.
Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Okay, there's searching for it, broadleaf thyme is also called Lamiaceae. It's supposed to be the family of mint. So it's called Cuban oregano or Indian.
No, this is not Cuban oregano. Cuban oregano is different.
Okay, that's what is labeled as broadleaf thyme.
Because that one is smaller. I had that leaf. These leaves are bigger.
Dr. Ajagbe, please, let's do this. Dr. Buka, please keep speaking. Papa, please kindly look at it, sir.
Are you seeing it? Yeah. It's Cuban oregano. The leaves are smaller. I know that one.
I see.
Can you see it?
Did you see it, sir?
Yes, I've seen it.
Okay. So your question, Dr. Booker.
I don't have a question. You said it made you fall
Okay,
asleep.
so, sir, yes, we have a question. We
Yeah.
did. So I'll ask it. Sir, I took one of the leaves and
Mhm.
I, made tea out of it, just hot water, made it sit for 15 minutes. And it was so relaxing
Okay.
and caused me to just sleep easily. And so
Yes.
we shared it amongst a few of us to see if everyone else had the same effect. And we wanted to ask you if it's an effect from that, from the thyme, is thyme from Guyana.
What is the local name doctor called
At
it?
home, they call it broadleaf thyme. They just call it broadleaf
Broad,
thyme.
But the broadleaf thyme,
broadleaf thyme.
Yeah.
Broadleaf thyme.
Mhm.
Okay.
so when I Googled that, it's something different. It says it has a pungent smell, the broadleaf thyme. This one
Yes.
has a very sweet smell. No, it doesn't have a pungent smell. The
Well,
smell,
pungent doesn't mean sweet. Sweet can be pungent.
no, it's not
Did you
pungent.
see the image? Did you see the image where you Googled it? Did you Google the image?
Yes,
Does it resemble it?
yes.
Then why pungent can be sweet?
Because there are two different types, sir. The oregano, the Cuban oregano is not the one.
No, that's a
That-
smaller
and
leaf.
that one is broadleaf thyme too. It is not the one that we have.
The Cuban oregano we call married man pork. There's another. I planted Cuban. This one, the leaves are bigger.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it has a very nice smell.
Now, are you trying to introduce it to all of us
No,
so that
we're asking
Sure.
a question that does it cause that relaxation and help with sleep?
it has already helped you to sleep? You are a proof of it, isn't it? Doctor?
Sir, I'm a scientist.
Yes.
Yes, I had one leaf and I had the experience.
Why don't you
to experience it? We have
Why
to.
don't you try it again? Why don't you try it again experimentally? And if it causes the same thing, then you have proved it.
Dr. Booker, did you try it? Did you do it?
No, I didn't.
Okay, no. You said you were going to.
I didn't try it.
You were going to. Okay. I'll ask.
Let some of us try it. And when we have the same results, then we conclude.
Okay, sir. We thought maybe you knew it and that you'll be able to help us with that. So
yeah, okay.
We already have two others who are trying it. I'll get back to you on that.
Yeah, good.
Okay. So there is a question here, sir, that says, will the majority of the plants you have mentioned be able to be grown in England or Western European climates?
This formula is mainly for tropical and subtropical countries. Now, I am just trying to be very patriotic. Because this is where the poverty line is in the rural areas. It is purported for development of rural tropical areas mainly. But a formula can be formed for temperate lands. An equivalent formula can be formed for temperate lands. If somebody is interested in that, I will bring it next week.
So, sir, we are interested in it because we are in temperate lands. For instance, we are in Maryland. We don't even have the amazing weather in Texas.
I agree with you.
So
Yes.
that being said, sir, something was said about bitter leaf this last Friday.
Yes.
I told you we went on an adventure. So Dr. Booker and Auntie Susan wanted the stems of bitter leaf as well as me so we can grow it. So we got the bitter leaf from Sister Funke Obebe. She has
Okay.
amazing bitter leaf that she grows here in Maryland. Beautiful, sir. In this weather, she has it inside in her laundry room, and they are so long. The stems are touching the roof.
Wonderful.
They're touching the ceiling in that room. And they are luscious leaves that she plucks every day and is able to, do one thing or the other with. So we got this stem, and the three of us, Dr. Buka, Auntie Fumi, and I, put it in water.
Mm.
You and Dr. Jagbe were saying that bitter leaf does not like water. But what we learned over the weekend was that we put it in water for the roots to start germinating. Also,
And that is it. The germination is okay. But if you go and plant it in a waterlogged place, it will die.
Okay. So the time also, we have that and we put it in water so that it will sprout roots before we now put it in the soil.
That is okay.
And it was recommended to us that we should not plant anything in our yards or anything like that till after Mother's Day. So
after what?
After Mother's Day, sir.
Okay.
After Mother's Day, because they said they would die because of the weather if we do that before. So right now, if we get roots, we will plant them in pots inside the house.
Okay.
Where they can get sun, and we'll water them until we're able to take them outside.
Okay, that's all right.
So I'm just saying that for the purpose of us that are here in
the temperate land. Yeah, you are correct.
Yes. Sorry, usually they say don't plant them because even though the weather is warm, it could get cold again. But you could plant lettuce and things that are cold weather.
Yeah,
lettuce,
correct.
kale, spinach. Mm-hmm.
That's true.
Yeah, but it looks as if we're going to be hot all the time. But usually, you can plant it, and then it just suddenly gets cold.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that is the advantage also in planting in pots.
In pots, yeah.
And you can bring your pot in.
That's true.
Also in those bags that we're talking about planting the yams in the bag.
Next week we are going to deal with actual planting of different things, and the yams can be planted in bags.
Fantastic. We are looking forward to that, sir. We actually thought
quadrants.
That this week
different ways of planting different things.
Yeah. So Dr. Alexander Amour said this information is very useful, and unfortunately they are not taught in the schools. Remember, he told us that he actually did agriculture, but they are not taught in schools. He said, are you considering writing a book, sir?
Yeah, I will. Actually, I'm already doing it.
Ah, fantastic. So Dr. Amour, I need to connect you with Papa Mike so that, you can augment this.
No, we drank the same water at birth,
I'll be more than happy to. Thank you so much.
Fantastic. So, sir, Papa, the plant is right here that we're talking about, the thyme. The picture is right up here. Dr. Ajay put it in the chat box.
I see.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it's right here. That's the plant.
I haven't seen it anyway. But I saw the one Dr. Buka brought up. I saw that one.
Yeah, great. So, Haman, your question is, can we get broad green thyme in the UK? We don't know that. Dr. Buka is from Guyana, and she brought this from Guyana.
And that's a tropical place.
Yes, it's just, it smells so good.
Wow.
It's stronger and better than the thyme that we have here, the leaves. Yeah. So it said UK is not tropical, although average temperature in spring and summer are rising. So, Haman, the way we plant is what we have discussed. So you start your planting inside and then you can take it outside. Or you can leave it inside and continue inside if you choose to.
People can actually have small greenhouses, you know. Dr. O,
Yes, sir.
people can have small greenhouses.
Yes, and that's true, sir. Dr. Booker actually has impressive, sections in a backyard with fenced
Yeah, yeah,
up area to protect against the deer.
yeah. That's a
And
good.
she has beds, and she has a section that is not actually protected, that she has, the way she put the planks, the beds don't go there. That's something else. Dr. Booker, please tell us about that, because somebody asked about that last week. And we saw that in our backyard, and she said, the deer don't come here because of the way.
It's kind of terraced. It's a terrace area with different sections. So the deer don't like to go over those pieces of wood. So I've had it for over 10 years. The deer doesn't touch anything there.
Wonderful.
I just get a lot of fine flies on the kale sometimes. I don't know what to do. I use neem oil, but I would love to put something in the soil. Those white flies, what could you do against those fine white flies?
What
Papa,
can you do against
what
the
can you
white-
do against the fine white flies that go under the colored greens and kale?
You can form some oils, and ointments, I mean, by using some of the leaves we have even mentioned. Do you know calendula?
No.
What's
No,
the regular name?
what's the
Calendula, Calendula. Although we are still going to deal with all those things in details later. Calendula, again, is of the Asteraceae family. It's a form of marigold.
Oh, okay.
You can use both the leaves and the beautiful flowers to make an ointment.
Sometimes I buy neem oil. Neem oil. That's
neem oil is okay, but you have to buy neem oil because you haven't planted the neem tree. Otherwise, you could get just the leaves or the fruits or the bark, and there you are. But neem oil will do. You have to dilute it anyway.
I get it in the spray.
Oh, you spray? Okay. Yeah. But if you can get, calendula is available in the US here. Nobody knows it, calendula? Wow. What else will I recommend, which is of this Asteraceae family?
Is there a Yoruba name for calendula?
Well, I described Aspelia africana the other time. You remember?
A Yoruba name, sir, for calendula, sir.
No. Our own equivalent of calendula is Aspelia africana.
Yeah, but what's the Yoruba name?
Nyonyo.
Oh my gosh. I have no idea what that is, sir. Yorinyo.
Is there anybody who knows nyonyo? It's a rabbit food, very common.
It's Yunyu is, yes.
Nyonyo.
Yunyu is used for small
Rabbits and so on.
rabbits and guinea pig. And,
exactly.
Okay.
That's African marigold. So common.
So, sir, let me ask a question, sir. Dr. Lola wants to know, where we can get the planting bags, sir, for like the yam and stuff like that. Where can we get those?
You go to places like Home Depot and so on, where
Okay.
they have, you know, bags. They want to, sometimes they want even to just get rid of them, you know.
Yeah.
But the bags should not be waterlogged. The bags should be porous. Are you getting it?
Yes, sir.
The bags should be permeable so that when you water the soil, extra water will get out of the bag. Are we okay?
Ah, okay.
That is very important. Because if you get an airtight type of bag through which water cannot pass, your crop will have, you know, roots that cannot be healthy, and the plant will not do well.
So, Brother Mike,
the soil should be aerated, and the water should not be excessive.
Brother Mike, you're talking about woven bags.
Yes.
The woven bags,
not
like
plastic, not plastic bags.
No, I'm talking about woven bags. That is, they're woven so that they're like mesh.
Yeah, correct.
But those are not the bags that I saw in Nigeria that they used to plant these yams, and the yams are doing fantastic.
What did you have? What type of bags?
The paper, sir. And the
paper.
It's very thick, like those cement bags is what it looks like. You know, the bags that they put cement in.
Oh, well, they must have made some holes at the sides, you know. Otherwise the yam will not do well. No.
Or maybe at the bottom. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll find out.
Yes.
Because
there must be some way the water must get out.
The bags that some people are using in Nigeria are actually like 5 kilogram. They're like the rice bags.
That's okay.
Beans bags.
Yes.
Things that they bought large bulk of food materials from.
Correct.
And then they use that empty bag and put soil in them.
Yes.
And they can stand upright.
Correct.
Or lean against the wall somewhere, and then that way they can get something planted.
Yeah. But the important thing is that the things should not be waterlogged.
Okay.
Most of
you can deliberately make small holes around the bag.
Okay. Okay. Auntie Tower, you
will notice that even the pots you use, the plastic pots you use have got holes made at the bottom intentionally.
Yes. Yes, that's true. Auntie Tower.
Yeah, I just want to say that the bags are raffia bags, like the one they use for Gary, or something like that.
That is it.
So, yeah.
That is the best.
Here, you can still use, they give you all this bag.
Because of the eyes.
They have this bag that they give you during the rainy season that you fill with sand for so that you don't
blocking floods.
Floods.
Yeah, that's good. That's a very good one.
They are porous.
Yeah, that's good.
Those are jute bags.
Yeah, they are good.
Jute bags.
Yes, I said they are good for it.
Yeah.
Actually, at the time of harvest, you may find that the bag you used is already getting rotten. You just have to peel it off. When you are going to plant again, you use another bag.
Yes, that's the way it is. Instead of digging through, you just
peel it off and tear off everything.
Hello, sirs.
Hello.
Arugundade is my name.
Welcome, sir. Welcome, Papa.
Happy to see you.
Same here.
Mo ṣe rántí sí pé there is a medical Monday On Mondays, yeah, man,
You
meeting.
got to speak English, sir,
I
because we
see.
have lots of non-Yoruba speakers on the platform, sir.
Oda Koburu. I'm happy to join you today.
Thank you,
I've
sir.
missed quite a lot of the meetings.
Yes, sir.
Because this meeting coincides with another very important meeting to me. That's the Yoruba Nation agitation, of which I'm a very big role player. What you're talking about is this, I've just joined, but I could hear from what you say that you're talking about planting yam or something of that nature. Good. 2 years ago, yes, almost two years now, I practiced the same thing in a compound in Abeokuta.
Okay.
I wasn't in town, but I asked somebody who is a farmer teacher, one of my sons quoted, to go and do it for me, and he used cement bags.
Okay.
We had almost about 200 bags.
Stones, yeah.
Filled with sand and yam seedlings.
Yeah.
And the bottom was perforated so as to make the water
good.
drain.
Yeah, correct.
And he put topsoil. He didn't use manure, he used topsoil.
Well, topsoil is already manured.
It's manured. He went to look for topsoil in some places and planted about 200 bags for me.
Yeah.
They turned out to be very good when they matured. When they germinated, when they sprouted, we have to put six, which we call a tune in Yoruba.
For climbing, yeah.
For climbing. So those are to roll the stem around the plant. So they don't just lie on the floor.
Yeah.
And it was a very good exercise. Only I didn't do it this year.
Yeah.
I hope by next year I'm going to do it again.
That would be good. That would be great.
No, I didn't eat a tuber of it, but I was happy to give it to people all around.
Yeah.
So
that's great.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
That's my experience.
Yeah, that will encourage other people to do it.
Thank you, sir. So, sir, how do we do that here in our setting? Because we like to do that. We like to grow yam. We're looking to do it this summer.
Yeah. Next week, we will learn how to plant it. Not only yam, but many other things.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Auntie Tawa, kindly unmute.
Good evening, everyone. Papa, my question are two. The first one is, we talked about the snake last week. Is there a particular plant that you can plant so you don't get snake around your house? And if you get snake bite, all of these leaves and plants that you said, is there anyone we can use immediately before 911 comes?
Yeah, you fear snakes so much. Anyway, snakes also fear us, you know. When they see you, they run. A very simple one is just garlic. Yeah. Just plant garlic around.
Okay.
Yeah.
My second question is about ugu. I'm still on this ugu.
Yes.
Somebody told me to cut the tip that is climbing because the stem is so flimsy and it's just one stem. How do I get my vegetables from one stem? I'll kill the whole plant if I start taking the leaves. They said I should cut it, that the rest will start spreading on the ground. Is that the way it's supposed to grow?
If you cut the tip,
yes,
the growing tip, if you cut the growing tip, plant hormones work in such a way that they will produce branches.
That's what they told me.
It's correct. It's a correct practice. And the branches will produce flowers that will produce the fruit.
Okay.
And produce many more leaves too.
Well, I pray on my ugu every day. So
no, do that practice is correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
There's a comment here that there is a bitter leaf species called Ewuro Odo.
Odo. Mm.
Literally, river bitter leaf. That's the
Yeah, it grows in wet places.
That's the direct translation.
Yeah.
Ewuro Odo means river bitter leaf.
Yeah,
This
it's not as bitter as the real bitter leaf.
Okay.
Yeah. In fact, there are many varieties. Mm-hmm.
This species is grown near swamps.
Yes.
It's not bitter, but a very delicious vegetable.
Yo, that is.
Kindly enlighten us on this plant, sir.
Well, I've eaten it a lot back in Africa. But as I said, it is not as bitter as the normal bitter leaf. It has got properties that are like bitter leaf, but bitter leaf is more, potent medicinally than that one.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Which means it has the upland one has more alkaloids.
Yes.
Or phytochemicals.
Yes, than the other one. Yeah.
Than the other one.
Yeah.
Okay. Look at Papa in his 90s, knowing this thing. Eh? Oh my gosh. We need to step up our game.
I want to give an advice on this plant issue. I always watch the presentation of China in different aspects of farming, and they seem to be far ahead of the institution I know or any country I know in this cultivation or in this plant business. The way they grow carrots, the way they grow sugarcane, the way they make plant, the way they grow one plant from another plant by
grafting. Grafting.
By grafting. Thank you very much, sir. So there are quite many aspects of their operations that one could copy if one has the opportunity to do it, and it doesn't take a long time for their own to mature as our own.
You see, as an agricultural extension educational, for us to help our people to get enough healthy food to eat, we have to start from the known to the unknown. So the methods we are using right now are methods that are easier to understand by our people. If you begin with things like grafting and so on, they will not get it. But if you start with the simple things they know how to plant, and then you show them how to get inputs that are not costly, they are going to begin to produce. You motivate them to produce. So appropriate technologies are the things we are trying to use now.
Yeah,
some of the things you are saying are a bit sophisticated for our rural farmers.
Yeah,
and for us, people like us that are just we know how to farm,
exactly.
But we want to.
Those mentors are good, but they are sophisticated.
Why I bring in this idea is because of people like you who have houses and have compounds or have garden. with that your little garden, you can grow any of these plants.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed.
That's why I mentioned it. It's not on commercial level, but if the agricultural extensions which we have back home, they can be taught the art of grafting.
No, if you did agriculture, you know grafting. I know grafting. Yeah.
They can commercialize it.
I think some people are doing it already.
Okay, that's good.
For example, if you go to some places in Africa, you find citruses and so on, tangerines, oranges, and so on, that are already grafted, mangoes, and so on, different varieties. Mm-hmm.
I don't think that is common in Nigeria.
It is very. Very, very. In fact, I have on my compound farm grafted oranges and tangerines. And I bought the seedlings right from Ministry of Agriculture in Oshogo.
I see.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much, Saz. So there's a question here. Where do scent leaves fall in basil class of plants?
Scent leaf is called sweet basil. Sweet basil.
Okay.
Huh?
Yes, sir.
Okay. It's extremely medicinal, easy to plant from the seeds. You can plant it in pots. It grows very fast. And within a few weeks, you are already harvesting.
Oh, wow.
It is against diabetes, against blood pressure. It is for skin diseases. It is good as a digestive. It's a dilator of blood vessels. So it deals with the lungs, you know.
Thank you so much for that, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry,
If you
Papa,
want to,
if you want to know,
more about it, if you want to know more about it, just get the scientific name and Google later. Ocimum. Ocimum.
Oh, okay.
Ocimum basilicum.
Scent leaf.
OCIMUM. Basilicum. BASILICUM.
Baba.
Hello.
They are trying to put us out of business, though.
Doctor.
No.
Sir.
How?
How, sir?
I'm just, it's a joke. I'm a pharmacist.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, because I was a little bit lost at that. Okay, so sir, I want to go back to the river bitter leaf, the Ewuro Odo.
Yes.
We know the difference is that it's sweeter. It's not as bitter as the upland bitter leaf.
Yes.
But they still do the same thing.
They don't do exactly the same thing. No.
They don't. Okay.
They don't.
Okay.
You can't eat your cake and have it. If you want sweetness, you lose some potency.
Okay. Got you.
Look, it's a general rule in medical medicine. See, bitter things in pharmacology generally, bitter things have more potency in healing. That's how God made it. Oh, sorry.
Okay. Thank you, sir. So, Auntie Tawa, I think it was Auntie Tawa who asked about things to deter snakes. And Papa said garlic, growing garlic around. Dr. Lola said also onions also help as a deterrent.
Garlic is a senior brother to onions.
Oh, okay.
Both of them are allium. One is called allium cepa.
Okay.
Allium cepa is onion. Okay?
Yes, sir. So garlic is what to grow anti-tower.
They look alike.
Actually, garlic is more powerful in driving away snakes than onions.
So I have something to report also. The thyme leaves that relaxed me and helped me sleep. One of I told you I have 3 other people that are trying it. 4 actually, Dr. Buka has not, but somebody just reported that it did not help them sleep. It did not have the same effect on them. That they drank it last night, and the other leaf will be drank tonight, but it did not cause the feeling of calmness.
Doesn't it also depend on the dosage? You didn't take the same quantity together.
And also maybe the body weight also.
Exactly.
Because
there are many factors. There are many factors involved.
Yeah, I used one leaf, and that was plenty for me.
Now, if that person is bigger than you, let the person use 2 or 3 leaves.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
Okay.
Thank you.
Can we understand what you are discussing?
There's a particular plant.
Okay.
That has got a sedative effect,
Okay.
Yeah.
What plant is that, sir?
It's a thyme.
It's a thyme.
Guyana.
Thyme. Okay.
From Guyana.
Okay.
It's really large leaves. It's not the regular thyme. And it's
a large-leaved thyme.
I just sent a picture to you, Dr. O.
Okay.
On your phone.
Yeah, it's in the chat box.
Oh, okay.
The picture is in the chat box. So if you scroll up, you'll see it.
I'm going to do some research on it.
Yeah. It's in there. I'll send the picture to you, sir.
Yep.
So another question, what keeps cats away from the garden, sir? Cats. In DC, it's a problem for Dr. Buka. They actually jump the fence, that fence we're talking about. They jump it to jump into the garden.
What do they eat in the garden?
Dr. Buka, she planted, no.
Don't eat anything, but they just have their litters there. They give birth in my garden. I have a set of kittens every year. The only thing I do is to put Vaseline with pepper on the board on the top. So when they touch the top, it burns them. That keeps them out for a while. But they jump the fence. I don't know. I've used naphthalene balls. I've used foil. That was the only thing. I don't know what else to do.
I wish really you had a Gliricidia. That one of the inputs. Gliricidia sepium.
Sir, these scientific names don't help. But Dr. Alexander Amour said cats don't like the smell of garlic.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll try.
Talk to Dr. Amour.
Thank you.
That's good.
Cats don't like the smell of garlic.
You hear that?
Snakes, cats, we learned.
And vampires. Vampires don't like that.
Even human beings don't like the smell of garlic. We only tolerate it.
Oh. Okay. So are there any other questions? So without further ado, we're looking forward to next week where we can actually go to the practicum.
Yep.
To plant each thing and when to plant, especially for us who are in areas where we don't have summer all year long. we in the land where God resides.
Well, you have to plant only fast-growing crops, which you can harvest quickly.
Okay, and so
Mm.
you share that so we know what's
Yes.
because what our goal really is because of our health. There
Yeah.
are a lot of cancer, and science is linking these cancers that are even occurring in younger ages. It doesn't spare one age or the other anymore.
The
Science
solution is to plant
shows
things yourself and eat them
exactly,
directly.
exactly. That's the purpose of this.
Exactly.
We need to know, how to plant them.
Yeah.
Uh,
And
in-
what to plant.
and what to plant. For instance, Obuka shared a lot of peppers with us. I got
Mm.
one. I quickly cooked okra soup with 2 of the peppers.
Sure,
It was
sure.
fantastic. And the okra was homegrown by
That's
Auntie
it.
Susan.
Yeah.
She grew it and, cut it for me anyways. So, question, sir, before we round up. It says, thank you, Papa, for the explanation on Ewuro dosa. That's the riverside bitter leaf.
Yeah.
How about Efo Ebolosa?
Hey,
It's a vegetable, right?
Crasocephalus. Wonderful.
Huh? What do you call it, sir?
Crasocephalus.
Crasocephalus. Okay, sir.
CRASSO
Yeah.
CEPHALUS.
Crasocephalus. So, how about that, sir?
It is extremely good and very medicinal, antibiotic, antifungal, antimicrobial, hemostatic, blood pressure.
Hmm.
I hope you know that it has got a certain wonderful aromatic smell. Do you know that?
Yes,
What?
sir.
What do you say, sir?
It has aromatic
Aromatic
smell. Efo Ebolo.
Ebolo.
Ah, it's very nauseating.
Nauseating?
I can't.
I love it.
When you
Papa, it doesn't smell good. I don't eat it. When my grandma cook it, I don't eat
when
it.
you, when, when you
well
eat it, your mouth will still be smelling.
No, well, it will be smelling well.
It doesn't smell well.
Okay.
It's
One
just
man's
like
food.
it's just like
One man's food is another
when
man's
you eat garlic
poison.
and you say it smells well.
So
it's a delicacy.
anyway,
It's a delicacy for some people.
Yeah. Okay. Is it still being planted?
Yes, I plant it. I love it.
Okay, I haven't seen it for quite for more than 40 years. I haven't seen
Because you ate it. Because you ate it.
I never saw it in the market.
They sell it in the villages.
Okay.
So there's a comment in the chat box that unfortunately B. Falako reacts to it. It gives him or her rashes.
Who?
One of our Medical Mondays family, sir. The Efo Ebolo causes them to have rashes.
Oh, well, some people have got allergy to different things.
Yeah. And Pastor Paul says, is this Efo same as what is called watercress?
No, it's not.
It's not.
No.
Pastor, no, sir. Okay. So thank you so very much. It's been a robust conversation. Again, I love the practical things like this Efoibolo that Papa just talked about, antifungal, antimicrobial, antibiotics. For me, as a scientist, I know that antibiotics are not made equal. Antifungals, yeah, fungal is fungals. But antimicrobials, they're not made equal. Antibiotics we use to treat upper respiratory issues are different from the ones we use to treat the ones. So, but these things work. These things are things that our forefathers use, and a lot of people still use this, and it works. I think we need to do a lot more research. And next week, I'm going to come back to you with that time from Guyana, because that's how you research. How does it has an effect on this? Does it have the same effect on somebody else?
Exactly.
And we talked about dosage because of body habitus. I probably don't need much. The 1 leaf was enough, but for someone else, they may need more. So we will get back to you, Dr. Buka. We're coming back to you to get more thyme leaves. Thank God you have so much of them in your house. We should have taken more than 2 stems each when we took them, but we'll be back.
Okay, but I also asked my cousin who went to the agricultural school to get me the correct name, the scientific name. So I expect to hear from him sometime this week.
Fantastic. So we will feed back on that thyme. No, it's very interesting. The effect on me was whoa. So we'll see if it's a real effect. Again, research is very important. And Papa, you and I have this conversation all the time.
Sure.
I love this naturopathic stuff. I just want I want to see the research. I want to see the back, but next week I am excited, and I know quite a few of us on the platform, we've talked about this, are excited to actually get to the nitty-gritty of how to plant what and what each would need, because this is the time when we need to start prepping our crops and things we need. I'm jealous of Auntie Tawa. She's sitting down there thinking, I got this, because she has the yard, she has the weather in Florida, in Tampa. She's doing fantastic with that. But thank you so much, sir. Sir, please, if you give us your closing remarks, and then we would adjourn for the night.
What we have done today is to be a little more aware of the importance of each one of the inputs, and to see how versatile each one is in doing a number of things to boost productivity, to bless the health of those who are producing it, and to see how easy it is to apply some of these things. So next week, we need to go into actual planting of different things, particularly those that are very relevant to our health immediately. So thank you very much for the interaction. God bless you.
Thank you so very much, sir. We appreciate you. And thank you, everyone. It's been a robust conversation. I learned a lot. Thank you. Till we see next week, please stay safe. And happy resurrection.